We want to highlight transportation accessibility in Hillsborough County. You might remember this woman we first introduced you to about a year ago. ABC Action News got Lyn Hunt her medical services reinstated after an insurance mix-up left her in limbo. And a few weeks ago, she called us again. This time, she told in-depth reporter Rochelle Aline, rideshare drivers are refusing to pick her up because of her guide dog. So that got us thinking, who else might be in a similar situation? Our in-depth reporter, Rochelle Aline, went digging for answers and found the problem is much bigger than just an isolated incident with Lyn.
In the Hunt household, 2-year-old Hayden is much more than a cute face.
There you go. Good boy.
He also works as a seeing eye dog for Lyn Hunt. But Lyn tells me the very thing that was supposed to make getting around easier is having the opposite effect. That's after, she says, rideshare drivers started denying her rides because of Hayden.
At least 6 times.
According to Lyn, the explanations range from the very specific,
He said, I have allergies, I'm not taking your dog,
to the vague.
No, I'm not going to take the dog in my car.
And she adds that those responses are not only heartbreaking.
I guess I think, how would people like it if it was them? That's exactly what I think.
But according to Disability Rights Florida, they're also breaking the law.
And it happens more frequently than we'd like to think.
To get more perspective on this issue, I went to the Lighthouse for the Blind and Low Vision in Tampa. The folks there tell me their clients often have to file complaints with rideshare services.
It might make them feel a little bit better to know, yeah, I called and reported the concern, but then generally speaking, there's no way to make up for the fact that they've already missed their ride.
And they say the longer-term fix to this issue is education for everyone in the community.
Individuals with service animals have a legal right to access public transportation, and that includes fixed route buses, paratransit, as well as ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft.
Driving folks with disabilities is something Mike with West Coast Transportation knows all about. He's been with the non-emergency medical transport company for 9 years. And he says the key is not just driver education, but also compassion.
Always, always, always put yourself in the other shoes so you can judge the person in front of you and you know what he's going through.
Though he adds that good karma doesn't hurt either.
It's kind of job with double credit. Like you're making your living and you have a credit for treating people nice, being fair to them.
And in the end, it's that awareness for others of all abilities that Lyn says she hopes will sink in.
Please consider the fact that you might be picking up anybody.
I also contacted Uber and Lyft to get to the bottom of this, and in 2 separate statements, both companies let me know that they have a policy that requires drivers to comply with the law when it comes to service animals. They also say they have dedicated teams to take your complaints if you have a denial issue. As far as Lyn Hunt's specific case is concerned, Uber tells me they are currently investigating. That said, in the meantime, we also wanted to know what local leaders were doing when it comes to making public transportation more accessible. So I spoke to Councilman Luis Vieira, who was chairman of the board on HART. He tells me the transportation group is actually holding a series of public meetings with different disability advocates to get direct feedback from them. When it comes to any immediate improvements, he says they're working to provide some extra training to staff to help them become more sensitive to the needs of those with disabilities. But Vieira also added that HART needs money to help expand its disability services.
For me, it's about listening to the community and seeing what we can do while showing the community the work that HART, with its resources, because we are critically underfunded, the work that we do for the community with disabilities.
Vieira also tells me that HART's next feedback session will be held in January with advocates for those who are visually impaired. In Hillsborough County, Rochelle Aline, ABC Action News.